Hello, and welcome to twitch.tv/bestpalbrigade. I'm your host, Kyle Carty. Any and all pronouns are fine. We're doing something new here on twitch.tv/bestpalbrigade. We are doing an interview. I mean, I'll drop the facade bullshit. For the longest time, I wasn't sure, like, if I was going to do, like a bit interview where it was like, oh, like, here's the wacky gimmick where it's like, fucking, you can do like a space ghost or like do like an Eric Andre and make people uncomfortable. And then I was like, no, I feel like there aren't any good like tabletop interviewers. So here we are. I'm just doing straight interviews. Joining me tonight is Tyler Russo.
You can do an Eric Andre style interview. That might be better. It sounds more fun.
I almost
snakes under my chair. Under my apartment.
I would have to like send stuff to your home, release like a grizzly bear just outside. Mm-hmm. But no, unfortunately, I decided to just be a good interview boy. And that's Tyler Russo.
Everybody. I can't handle that level of sincerity.
$1 billion clown farm.
Yeah, that's me.
You might have seen some of what should I call you, Mr. Clown Farm? Just Tyler, like.
Tell me Tyler.
Please, Mr. Clown Farm was my father.
I had a very negative gut reaction to Mr. Clown Farm, but now that I think about it, I think you're right. I think
I nailed it.
Good. Yeah, or just call me Tyler. I don't really give a shit. You can call me. Call me the fastest pisser in the West. And only that.
Only that. That's the only thing I can refer to you as. All right, that's fair. So, let's just cut right to the quick of it then, because this is an untitled interview thing. Because I decided one day I was like, you know what, I want to do interviews now, and so we're doing it. How is it? No, it's not Billion Surprise. Hold on, I have to moderate the chat. It's not fucking Billion Surprise Toy. It's $1 billion Clown Farm, not the goddamn Elsa Spite. Are you not familiar with Billion Surprise Toys on YouTube?
No, I don't know much about most things.
They're like one of those YouTube kids, like, they manipulate the algorithm to make kids watch millions of, like, scarring videos.
Oh, yeah. Sounds like something I should have known about before naming my channel. Something kind of. Actually, it's not very similar at all. Just Billion.
It's just one of our resident shit posters.
To be accidentally associated with this channel. This is the kind of thing I could get behind.
See, like you.
Oh, I know. Wait, did they do the like open your mouth ha 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 video?
I don't think that was
this
them.
Child's eyes look familiar. The
look in this child's eyes. Yeah. I know this child. So
I feel like the child is me. This fridge is cool.
So I first learned about you on r/sig Marxism, which for viewers in the chat or people listening after the fact on like a POV or whatever, that's a lefty subreddit for Warhammer and Warhammer 40k. And you posted a video about building orc terrain from literal garbage.
That's true.
Yeah, I was like smitten with the concept, and I mean, as like both being lefties, because I assume since we're both on Sig Marxism, that's a given. We agree that the most corrupting force of chaos is capitalism. So I guess the question here is, are you aware of the concept of like poor hammer? And if so,
well, I mean, I know the subreddit at least. Yeah. Or sorry, I cut you off.
No. Look,
so what? Yeah.
This is my interview, and if I don't finish the pre-written lines, I'm going to throw a tantrum. But yeah, so like, are you? No, I'm kidding. Are you familiar with?
Throw the tantrum. It's okay.
Okay, fine. I'll throw it. You're the one who's supposed to break the mug on screen, so like.
Yeah. Well, I'm waiting until
the right time. If you break that mug on stream, I'm gonna lose my shit.
Games Workshop, but I do. I'm getting paid. I'm actually not a leftist. I now support Warhammer. And Citadel is a brand. They're a corporation I can get behind, because it turns out I was only a leftist because I've never gotten a corporate sponsorship deal before. But now that I have that, I've abandoned my politics, and Warhammer Citadel is the brand for me.
Neoliberal.
Pay me 15 cents every time I say that. Yeah, God, I've never felt so powerful.
Friendship with leftism ended. Now neoliberalism is my best friend. But yeah, poor hammer. Like, do you have any other tips or tricks that like you would be willing to share with some people who want to play really good games of Warhammer without, plopping down a bunch of dosh?
I mean, there's a lot. So I mean, I feel like terrain is the most obvious one to like do cheaply, and I feel like there's a lot of resources for that. But I
Yeah.
mean, anyone who's like wanting to get into Warhammer now, I feel like 3D printing is like definitely the best way to get into it cheap. Like, I mean, 3D printers are not the cheapest things. I think you can get like a pretty decent commercial resin printer for like 189. I like the Anycubic ones a lot, but
Okay.
I mean, assuming maybe you can find like a friend or a few people to split one with. I mean, 189 in the terms like the grand scheme of Warhammer is really not that much if you're splitting it like with a bunch of people to like get a machine that can basically print models for free. I mean, resin's like incredibly cheap. There's a lot of good resources out there for like free models, and it's a cool way to learn 3D modeling if it's something you care about. Blender is a good free program along with Sculptress that you can use to make your own models. You can also do like digital kit bashing, where you combine like other people's 3D models. It's really not that hard.
Huh.
I should make a video on that at some point.
I mean, I would
But
watch
yeah,
that
I feel
video in a
like
heartbeat,
3D
man.
printing is really sick. Yeah, I mean, there's like plenty of like, I mean, not as useful in COVID times, but assuming the world reopens eventually, like I know a lot of like libraries and like random places have like communal 3D printers now too.
Yeah.
Or like very cheap makerspace memberships are surprisingly common in the U.S. I'm sure in other places as well. So I think, yeah, 3D printing is a really good resource. I mean, it takes more work, as a lot of Warhammer does. But I think you can get really, really nice looking models with not that much money through resin printing.
I like it.
Yeah, to be clear, this is different from like FDM printing, which looks not as good because you can see those like lines everywhere, which works for like tanks and stuff. There's ways to like sand that down and remove it, or use like special primers that cover most of it.
Yeah, I've heard of some people that use like acetone to sort of like smooth
Yeah,
some of
yeah, and
those
it'll work
parts.
for like a rhino or whatever. But if you do that for like a
A
like a orc
face.
or something, it'll
Yeah.
like obscure the detail too much. So I don't really like it. But yeah, like resin printing's awesome. And
So actually,
yeah,
speaking of orcs, like
yeah,
you're pretty well documented as having a deep love for 40K's orcs, like the clown
I'm
farm.
very orc. Yeah,
Big orc. I completely get it. The logo's an orc. You've gone on the record in one of your videos as saying that you want to be buried with your orc army, and you have
yeah.
you have a lot of orc focused videos. So I guess sort of an introductory question for people that maybe aren't super familiar with 40K or just sort of want to know why you picked this army. What drew you to these like very violent fun guy, and what made you stick with them as your army of choice?
I mean, I think as a kid they're appealing to me because they're like very non-anxious and like confident in who they are, and I think like as a relatively timid 9 or 10 year old boy, something about that was appealing. They're just like so like brazen and aggressive and powerful and stupid. I feel like all those traits very freeing.
Yeah.
And free from the pressure of others. They're just very true to themselves, and they just look cool. I like that they build stuff out of trash. I like that they fit into the 40K like universe, and like how like the despondent word in it is like heaven to them.
Yeah.
And I feel like they bring above all else like a level of comedy that the bleakness of the 41st millennium really needs.
I mean, especially considering
I
like
like funny things. Yeah.
the history of like 40K as a setting, with like starting off as a parody that then became like a pretty literal interpretation of like the shit they were trying to lampoon, is sort of why I don't think you could get away with an orc army if they didn't exist. I don't think they would be introduced now.
Yeah, I agree. They had to kind of be there from the ground up, and I feel like they're very unique. Like, I don't really like Warcraft orcs or like orcs represented by other fantasy settings.
That is
I
a
think,
sentiment that
like,
we share.
Like Warhammer orcs are very unique, and yeah, I don't know. I just like them.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. They are the polar opposite of the army that I play, which is of course like as a very lonely fan of Gundam as a child.
Yeah.
That of course meant that
Tau
I played Tau.
Oh yeah, I like Tau too.
Tau
Yeah.
was great. It should
I
have
started
clicked.
a Tau army recently.
I we're jumping
Yeah.
ahead a little bit, but I am
Oh,
very
yeah.
curious about. No. Please,
Yeah.
let's cut right to the quick. We got to talk about Mountain Dew.
Yeah,
Because
so, yeah, it's my other venture into corporate partnership and branding.
I'm drinking water.
Yeah, it should be Mountain Dew.
Yeah. So for
no one's ever paid anyone to drink water, but a lot of people get paid to drink Mountain Dew.
Yeah. If anything, we pay people to let us drink water.
You already have you could just turn off the overlay you have, and then your backdrop would be Mountain Dew colored already. Don't need fancy graphics. Just it's the perfect color. The green screen, Mountain Dew green. Perfect. That's a sign from God. I won't hear anything that says otherwise.
No, you won't. So why did you choose the Tau to be your Mountain Dew color palette, like high fashion aesthetic project? Why the Tau? Why did you do the Dew? What other flavors can we expect to see apart from, like, I believe there's some Baja Blast Crute in there?
Yeah,
like what are the other flavors?
All the Commanders, because they're the most gamer flavor and they're most gamer unit, so I deserve to be top of the food chain.
That's fair.
Yeah, Mountain Dew, I don't know what the Tau is, just because my roommate has a bunch of Tau. He like bought them a long time ago. He's like a big like role play guy. He like likes 40K, but he doesn't like the competitive aspect of it so much, and I think he got a little burnt out of like doing that, so he hasn't been playing the Tau for a while. He'll play like occasionally with us, but I just seem like a good excuse to finally like have them like done, because I don't think they're going to get painted otherwise. And I also like just a shitload of Tau. There's like this store in like LA County called Green Tower Games, and they receive I don't know if I can. I think I can. Who gives a shit? I think they're fine. I think I can tell this. So they got like a bunch of damaged Tau and a shipment, and then GW official corporate policy is that like you can't sell like damaged boxes. So I guess like if you're a local store and you get like a damaged shipment, you can contact GW and they'll replace all the stuff, but you're not allowed to sell the damaged product. So like they have all this stuff and don't really like know what to do with. So they started giving away, like, you could either get like a gift certificate for whatever amount, or like a fucking like storm surge, or like something like some big Tau thing that's worth like way more of that in value. So it's like, yeah, of course you want like the storm surge. So yeah, like for tournament prizes, they would just give away like tons of Tau, and I would go there for all their ITC tournaments. And you go there often enough, you wouldn't have Tau. You end up with like basically a 2,000 point Tau army for free.
Oh my.
So I was like, what am I gonna like? I just don't know what to do with it. I don't really like, because they're not really competitive units. And at the time, I was really only playing stuff to like play in tournaments. And the channel has been a good excuse to like paint other things. And that like my roommate's Tau combined with all the free Tau I have, just felt like to do like a big like army for a painting project for the channel. Tau made the most sense because we have a shit ton of them already.
Yeah, I mean, and if they're on hand.
I just thought it was funny. I don't really know where it came from.
So it worked because as I was like doing the research and like putting all of this stuff together, I came across you had just posted, I think, the Crute video, like either like a day before or the day after. I asked you if you wanted to come on and be the guinea pig for the first interview. And I was literally like, as I was watching it, next to me in like a container of like simple green was the Crute that I had painted as like a wee 13-year-old.
Nice, dude. Yeah, we all got those. Yeah.
And so I was like, they gots to go because they look terrible.
Yeah, well, I think there's like a ton of people who just have like a squad of Crute warriors, because I think there was a time, if you were playing in like 4th edition, where like any army could take like a squad of Crute.
Yeah, you could take them as mercenaries.
Purely transparently as like a marketing tool to sell more Crute, and it worked, I guess. So I feel like I know tons of people just like one squad of Crute. Yeah, it's so easy to find shady looking Crute if you go to like any like big Warhammer like flea market, or like the FLG like secondhand store always has a bunch of Crute. Yeah, they're around.
So let's step away from Warhammer for just a moment.
Oh boy.
Because
Yeah, sure.
because you are a multi-talented individual with an impressive resume, with animation,
Thanks. Yeah.
painting, directing credits all over it. But
Yeah, I do a bunch of shit. Yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about
It's all to I don't yeah, it's all to escape from trauma. If you're listening to this, don't take me as a role model. Just find a therapist and confront your problems in other ways head on instead of making a career in Los Angeles like all the other sick fucks out here. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
No, it's all good.
Yeah, disclaimer.
So,
Yeah.
speaking of escaping from sort of that dark reality, you
Mhm.
work in a lot of different like musical genres, from like the glib lo-fi Magic the Gathering song, the grind that
Yeah.
you wrote, to
Yeah. It makes sense to you. That's cool. Yeah.
to like the abstract black metal like comedy, like
Right.
Abysmal Frog. What genre of
Yeah,
music
yeah.
have you
Oh,
found that
what you
you?
found? Wait, what you saw
What?
the Abysmal Frog video? Damn,
Yeah, I
I
found
forgot
it.
I made that.
Yeah.
Shit, that's from like 2014. Nice. Yeah.
I listened to it several times. It was real good. But what
Damn,
genre of
yeah.
music have you found that you enjoy spending the most time working within?
I don't know. I like them all. I mean, I grew up just listening to like a lot of metal and being in like metal bands in high school. And then like recently, like I do. I make. I mean, you know this, but for the people who are watching, I do like a bunch of bumpers for Adult Swim. So like I make like music for them, and yeah, like you said, it's like lo-fi comedy kind of stuff. There's one about sentient animatronic bear that's very popular called Rockabilly Bear. There's one about eating raw chicken. I don't know. There's if you type in like my name and Adult Swim, they're on YouTube, or at least I think a large number of them. Most of them are just like for air for their streams, but I think they put out a bunch on YouTube too. Anyways, like I like that stuff because it's like funny, and I like doing like comedy writing and comedy things.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't. I like just always liked metal a lot.
Do you always think you? Do you ever think you would take like a more serious approach to like some more non-comedic music, or are you comfortable squarely in the comedy?
No, I mean
zone?
I like doing like the Aztec the Slaughter song. Maybe to me at least, it's not that funny. Do you listen to that one?
I don't think I did actually.
Oh, okay, it's just I can find it and link it.
Was
It's
it
just,
on your
I made it-
SoundCloud? Because I jumped through a couple of them on there.
Oh, you went to my SoundCloud? Oh
bro,
man,
bro. Here's
I forgot that was online.
you know how
Damn,
I was
dude,
like,
respect.
oh, maybe I'll do
That's
like
well researched.
an Eric Andre
Yeah.
thing where I make people uncomfortable. Hey, guess what? I do.
Yeah.
Except it's called Everything on the Internet is There Forever Now, and I can find it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. I did not find that one, so I guess I can't find everything. Let me
Yeah,
see
no, it's
this.
all good. It's like a black metal song about Azag the Slaughterer.
Oh shit! All right. Well,
Yeah.
I
Um,
liked Abysmal Frog so much that I'm super excited to listen to this one because show us a picture when he was fucking no.
Wait, is this Gordon? Is that Gordon? Are you Gordon Straub? It
That might be
sounds
one of
like it'd
yours.
be my friend Gordon's username, but if
I mean,
it's
look,
some other
Gordon,
person, then
if you have a
weird.
picture of him when he was 12 and you send it
I'll find a
via
picture of
Discord to
12.
us, I will use it in this
I'm gonna find a
interview.
picture of Gordon when he was 12 and put it in the chat.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. Okay.
No. I'm reading the chat out loud. That's what your friend is pleading
Don't do that.
for
Okay,
mercy.
yeah.
A stalemate.
All right. Well, I'll find a picture. I'll find the
Yeah,
oldest
yeah.
picture of Gordon on Facebook, and I'll look at it and I'll
Yeah.
laugh. And I won't show anyone else because that's unfair. But
That's fine.
wow, it's pretty embarrassing. Yeah, let me tell you.
So moving away from embarrassing pictures, talking a little bit more about music.
Yeah, sure.
You recently released American Treasure Goblin, which
Oh yeah.
is a concept album for a fictional like late 90s RTS game. So there's music for it, and all of the music has like very evocative track names. But in your mind, what kind of game is American Treasure Goblin? Like, do you have any specific units or factions in mind when you were making the music? And like, going even further than that, did you think about any like exploitable features or meta, like Zerg rush strategies from StarCraft or something like that?
Not that deep. But I mean, the first song is called. Let me just go over it track by track. It's not that long.
Sure.
Orcs Draw Near. It's about orcs. We can all get behind that.
Seems
It's
fair.
obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brinjar Iron Toe of the Black Steep Mountains. It's about there's like this specific model from it's a campaign that my friend Gordon, who I guess is in the chat, was running. We were doing like a Warhammer fantasy campaign, and there's this guy called I'm forgetting his name though. Johan Rolox, I think. He's like a pre-built character from Warhammer Fantasy. Yeah. Johan the Boatman or Johan Rolox. There's like a model from like the 90s, maybe even 80s that like I was imagining that's based on him when I wrote that song. And if anyone wants to do a Google search for that, you can find one on eBay for like $40. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's all like kind of Warhammer referential. I was thinking a lot about like second edition, and like, or I guess more like third edition, like Warhammer Fantasy when I was writing it, because I like that era of art a lot. The Death of Grungy is also from that same Warhammer campaign. There's a like dwarf NPC who died in our campaign that we're all very close to. Yeah. Yeah,
it's like a fitting tribute. That's more than I've ever done for an NPC in one of my games. Like,
a very special dwarf. Yeah,
that's
and
like,
he deserves a good send off. Yeah,
it's legitimately emotionally appealing. Like,
yeah.
the chat agrees that it is an excellent concept for an album.
Yeah, thanks. It was just like a way to stay sane in the beginning of quarantine. I had a lot of fun making that. I want to do another one at some point.
Oh, so you started that during quarantine then? That was like a whole project?
It was, I mean, it was pretty quick. They're like short songs and they're pretty easy to do. I did it just because like, I don't know, I think spend too much time on some of the songs I work on. And I get like lost in my own head and think they're like not good enough, or just keep like tweaking them forever, you know, and then like sometimes they never come out as a result. So I just wanted to make like a bunch of stuff fast without like worrying about it too much. Like, I mean, sure, like a lot of like people working in like game design have to do, or you know, people with like actual like deadlines structured around like having releases on or whatever, and I wanted to make it feel like it like was like authentic too, that like early PC genre.
You captured the tone like, perfectly.
Yeah, and as long as that was there, like I didn't want to like fuss with them that much, so I just made it as an exercise to, like make a bunch of content in, like a short period of time.
Do you find yourself, whether it's with music or crafting, fussing with something until you feel that it's perfect? Because you said that you try to do this as a way to push it out, you know, as quickly as you could without sacrificing too much quality. But do you find that happens with some of your other work, where you'll sort of work with it and then maybe overcook it or something like that, and then just sort of
definitely. I mean, to get around that, just like over time, I feel like I try and mostly take on projects now that I feel like I can like finish in a short period of time, you know? I mean, that's just like the best. Like I try not to do anything that's like super ambitious in scope, because I feel like I end up like abandoning it. Or if I do something that's like much bigger, like I try and break it down into chunks so you can see like small like benchmarks to shoot for, you know. So, I mean, I think it's just that happens like a lot of people who like make like art, or especially in like filmmaking or whatever. It's just very easy to like dwell on things forever and not have them come out, and like obsess over details. So to get around it, I try and just like make projects that are like more accomplishable, or big projects that can be broken down into smaller chunks that feel accomplishable. So I mean, I definitely don't want stuff too much though.
I'm someone who has trouble. Like 2 or 3 days ago, I finally sat down to paint again for the first time, and I had a great deal of difficulty just painting. I think it was 6 or 7 skeletons. So I have a feeling that our definitions of attainable short-term goals might be different, because you're painting like a 2K point Tau army right now.
Yeah. Well, Warhammer is something, I guess I feel like I don't have to worry about it in the same way. And I've just like done so like fucking much of it. And it's something I try not to like put that much thought into for the same reason I talked about earlier. Warhammer stuff, I don't know. I feel like I'm pretty good at like doing quickly, and I think a lot of that comes from like being someone who plays a lot of like tournaments and events where like I'd be like, okay, so like at LVO, like in order to play at this thing that you have a ticket for and you're going to go to, you need to have a fully painted army, right? So like you better have everything painted by then, otherwise you're not going to be able to go to the event.
Oh,
so like maybe don't paint those Stormboy's eyes today.
It's not even
maybe
like
just focus on getting it done. Yeah.
It's not a 3-color tournament where you have to have at least 3 colors on a model. Like you actually have to have a full.
No, I mean it is 3 colors, but it's like 3 colors in base. There's like a curriculum on their website, I think, if anyone actually wants to see it. But yeah, it's like minimum 3 colors, and then like fully based, and they have like a definition of what that is, I think. So, but I mean also like I'm not someone who just wants to put like the bare minimum into it, you know? Like I want them to look like presentably painted. So I think like going to events and stuff like that got me really used to just like learning how to paint effectively. Like as a kid I would just like play with half painted armies forever, and it was very slow. But yeah, once I started like playing in tournaments more and came up with like ideas for like speed painting and like batch painting more effectively, then I feel like I've gotten pretty fast at this point. So
I
mean airbrushing helps a lot too.
I'm considering getting into airbrushing, but there's that initial entry point and the anxiety that comes with having to learn a totally new skill set.
Yeah, it's definitely intimidating. I mean, they're honestly a huge pain in the ass. They clog all the time. They're pretty annoying to deal with, like maintenance wise, but I think it's like worth it just for like how much time they ultimately save you. And I think also how good they look. Like I really like how airbrushed Warhammer models look.
So let's talk a little bit about your specific talent when it comes to a little bit more of Warhammer painting and things like that.
Yeah.
So you do these really great kit bashes, and as I mentioned previously, I am a Gundam fan, and I'm going to send you an image on Discord. And I
think I know where this is going. But yeah.
I want to hear a little bit more about this specific image right here.
This is where I thought this was going.
I'm not sure if this will ever be audio only, but this is a bear guy that I believe is like a Stompa. Is that?
Yeah, he's a Gorkanaut. He's on Reddit somewhere. I think if you like do a search for like converted Gorkanaut, it's one of the first results. By the way, I can link it in the Reddit. Oh, you got it already. Never mind. I see. It's an overlay background. I thought it was like just where you sent.
I come prepared. But
there's like more pictures. I think of it on here, or like if you go to Reddit, I have like a comment somewhere that has like a link to it.
I definitely found it on your Insta. So
Instagram?
If people want to check that out, you can just type !guest in the chat and it'll take you to links to Tyler's YouTube and Instagram.
Man, you put so much work into this. I really appreciate it.
I know.
This is really nice.
But look, I'm not gonna ask someone to come and be interviewed by me and not do a good job. I might be bad at painting, but I'm pretty good at talking to people. But so what?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I don't know about your painting skills, but I think you're good at talking to people.
They're worse than my photography skills because I can't take a good picture of a single goddamn mini I've ever painted. But tell me a little bit more about the thought process that went into this kit bash, because it's off screen, but there are maybe 2 or 3 bear guys and like little bear guy juniors back there that my wife has put together and I've put together over the years. So when I saw this, I was like, I gotta talk to him about this. I'm not gonna be able to forgive myself if I don't. Tell me like why Why?
So I don't know anything about Gundam. I was just like in a model kit store and I saw that there was a big robot there. I was like, oh fuck, that would make like a sick orc thing. That's literally all the thought that went into it. It was like an instantaneous reaction, and then I made it into a big orc thing.
All right.
I wish there was a more involved backstory, but
honestly,
that is the proof. Yeah.
That's an incredibly like orky thing to do, though. You know,
Yeah.
like you see something,
that's
you want it.
Yeah, it's another reason why I like orc so much. Like, I feel like it's kind of gone away from. I mean, people still do like cool kit bashes, but there was like much more of a culture in like early Warhammer of like, oh, you can just like make stuff from whatever, which is bad for like selling models. So Games Workshop kind of shied away from that over the years.
Well,
but there used to be like guides and codexes and shit where it's just like, yeah, no, like rummage through your recycling bin and like make a land raider out of it if you have to. They'd have like a guide for how to do that in like White Dwarf. So yeah, like I come from that background, and I think it works especially well for orcs, obviously, because it just makes sense like thematically for them. But yeah, I mean, like before I started going to more tournaments, I would just like build Warhammer stuff out of like anything, and I think like tournaments have gotten more strict on what you can run over the years. Like I've brought these specific models to tournaments and like gotten judges approval, and it's been like fine. So like I think it still can be pretty loose, but you're always like taking like a gamble now where you have to get permission first and stuff, you know? It's just like more of a pain.
You got to make sure that you have like the proper space in your carrying bag, so that like why bring two models if one's not going to get approved potentially.
Sure, right. Yeah. I mean, I guess by the time I'm going to the event, I always know if it's going to be approved or not, because you can like email them in advance. Yeah.
See, I don't play.
I'll just email them like a month before or something.
Okay, I like that. What have the reactions from like the people that have been crushed by this cute little bear man? Do people react favorably to this, or do you get like the occasional neck beard who's like, ugh?
I think people are generally happy to see it. I think people who don't like it don't like me for other reasons already. So there's just like like not that much camaraderie in the air to begin with. I've never had anyone like be crushed by it, but like it in the beginning, you know. I think I mean I try and like bring an army that's like fun to look at and like unique for Warhammer. And I think I did like a good enough job with it that people like it's clear what like effort went into it, you know? Like I know there's a lot of stigma against like people who like scratch build like orc stuff out of like Tonka trucks or whatever, which I think is sick and highly encouraged, even if it looks bad. I think like it's just like a cool thing to do. But yeah, there's a reputation for sure for people who like build orc things out of toys. But I think I like as long as it's done well, people are usually pretty receptive and have a positive reaction to it. I've seen some like negative comments online, but I've never really had anything like negative in person about them.
Well, I mean,
pretty nice. I would, or silent if they don't feel like being nice. Yeah.
I would be delighted to see it in person, given half of a goddamn chance. But
thanks. Yeah, maybe it can happen someday. I don't know. I mean, you're in New Jersey, right? I can.
Yeah, I'm in New Jersey, but without going into any more detail than that.
Oh shit! Okay, I'm sorry. All right. Yeah.
No, it's okay. We had a completely offline. We will not talk about this on stream, but it turns out that I grew up and he works occasionally in the same area, so maybe it'll happen one day. That'd be really cool. But without doxing myself on the internet, it's okay. But you
should be more careful for that stuff. I never think about like doxing or.
I should have like briefed about it. I'll admit that we're like overly paranoid about getting doxed, but like that is.
I don't blame you either. Like crazy things happen. I have like friends who are like streamers, and I've had like really like, wild things happen to them. So I don't know if it's that paranoid. Yeah.
Like you know, our channel consists of like me, Kat, and our friend Lauren, and like I am the only. Like we're all openly leftist, and like we just don't want that climate for.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, like there are obvious reasons for it, but. Moving beyond how wretched the internet can be sometimes, you make short films and just general shorts and films, and I watched your horror short Goodbye.
Oh boy, yeah.
Let's talk about that. It has a very strong aesthetic, and I want to know what the process for creating that aesthetic kind of looked like. Like, what were the influences for the interviewer's design and for that sort of mechanical hell that makes up the background of the short?
Yeah, I mean, it was 5 or 6 years ago now, so let me see what I remember. But I was like, I remember being really into like Brazil, like Terry Gilliam's Brazil's like
Mm-hmm.
art decoration. I have a lot of mixed feelings on him as a man and as a director, but the art direction for that film was very good.
That is fair.
A lot of cool shit in there, and yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, is this
I think there's probably interviews of me talking about this online, and it'd be more useful to talk to that version of me who remembers things as opposed to me currently. But
I mean, that's okay. Don't worry about it.
yeah,
I didn't know there were interviews because
Yeah.
I tried to find information because I found people saying that you've been in film festivals, but I
Yeah.
couldn't get the
like
details
from
on
those film
that.
festivals.
Like
Yeah.
what?
Oh, you mean like videos like from those film festivals? You mean?
I'm just talking like anything that I could get on that so I could like figure out that
Yeah.
film festival and sort of see some interviews from that era, but that was surprisingly difficult to come across. But if we're not super familiar about sort of the aesthetics of Goodbye, could you tell me a little bit more about like your experiences with film festival culture? Like, do you still participate in film festivals? Do you have any ideas that you might be interested in putting into a film festival in the future?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I like went to school for film and animation, and for like most of school, the goal was just to like go to film festivals and like tour around with like shorts, and eventually maybe get to do like a feature or whatever. And it's something that I kind of grew like disenfranchised with. I had some success with it. Like, Goodbye got a bunch of awards. I did another one with like a short documentary about like my grandfather that gained some traction too within like those communities. But there's not a lot of like money in it, and it's like hard to do financially long term. And then B, I just think I don't know. There's like other things I'm more interested in presently. Not that film festivals really exist at the current moment either, but like eventually I think it'd be fun to do again because it's a lot of fun like touring around. And I mean it's basically just like this. Like you go to a place and then like someone like interviews you about the film, and then everyone like watches it, and there's a like Q&A and stuff. And I like doing that kind of thing. And I'd like to make more films for festivals, but I think YouTube's really exciting. And like I mean Warhammer is something I care a lot about and do a lot with. And it's been nice trying to kind of like combine that with filmmaking in a way. I mean, it's not the same as like making like a film, obviously, just like making Warhammer painting tutorials on YouTube. But I try and like make them like funny and have some like personality to them besides just being like, you know, like having like technical advice for how to paint stuff, right?
The
And it's very like cathartic to me, just bringing in like you know like comedic grading or trying to be funny and like an entertaining personality with like Warhammer.
Yeah, the quality of your Warhammer videos is very, very high, especially considering like a lot of like smaller YouTube channels, much like our own at Best Pal Brigade, are shot on like cell phone cameras or shitty webcams. So like watching
Thanks, man.
the technical execution is super, super high, like from the editing to the comedic timing to just like the general quality of the camera. Like, please stick with it. Everybody, please go sub right now. Link in !guest. Go do it. If you don't, you'll embarrass me in front of my friend. So, but
Dan, thanks. Yeah.
I mean, look, what good is talking to someone if you're not like a fan of sort of what they're doing and interested in hyping them up, you know?
Yeah. Well, thanks. This whole thing is super nice.
Well, I mean,
definitely down more in the future.
I appreciate you coming on. Unfortunately, though, it is time to make people maybe second guess that sub, because you have been directly quoted in a video as saying that you want to feed Guy Fieri one of your dad's meatballs. I think you may have said you want to feed him with hand. Can you tell me a little bit more about your feelings towards Mr. Fieri and if you ever got on Guy's Grocery Games?
I did not, but I came very close. Closer than I ever probably should have gotten.
Hold on, pause. Stepping outside of the bit.
Yeah.
Was that a fucking real application video?
Yeah, I applied to them. I don't fuck around. When I commit to the bit, I applied to be on Guys Grocery Games and made a video where I pretend to be like a Chinese Italian cook. Who for that video, all I did is like I used to live next to a Panda Express and like a Sbarro, so I just like went like a huge order from both of them, and I just like combined them in what I thought was like the most grotesque way possible. Pretended it was like food I made, and like talked about my passion for Chinese Italian cooking and treated it like it was a real thing. And the video's on YouTube. I'm sure I can find a link and put it.
There's the shot at the end that fucking killed me, and you pour just like you have like
of course at some point.
Yeah, exactly. And just like it just plops from right off screen, and I fucking lost my mind right there. It was so funny.
Yeah, thanks. I like that was a real audition video. I was like working as a subcontractor for Blizzard games. And I was making a lot of money doing it, and the project I was doing was like building like the stage for like StarCraft, like the StarCraft like finals. There's like a bunch of like animated content we needed to make for it. And I guess that part's not super essential to the story, but yeah, I was doing that, and then I was just like living by myself and like very bored on the weekends, and I saw that Guys Grocery Games was like casting people, and that was just a very impulsive thing to like make an audition video for it. And I thought it was just like clearly parody, and if like it was sincere, then it would be too insane to be considered. But they fucking called me back, and I thought it was like a friend pranking me or something at first. I thought it was a joke. They like called me.
It was so clearly a parody that I made this question as like a shitty throwaway goof to be like, obviously it wasn't a real video. Okay, and then tell me the process. Keep going. Yeah, you have me on the hook.
I was like, at this, I don't think I said this out loud, but I was like, is this for real? And I was like listening to this lady, and then she was clearly just like wanting to interview me for the show. So then I didn't know what to do. So I kind of just like leaned into the character even more, and I started talking about like, oh, I want to be buried with meatballs or whatever. You know, you can kind of guess the kind of thing that one would say. Because I thought they would like know it was parody, but I think they just like like thought I was a crazy person that they could exploit for reality television.
As is the system with reality television.
I came across, I think it's like maybe too crazy in the phone call.
Yeah, a little too into the
I got
bit.
that like call, and then I got a follow-up call, but then they stopped replying to my emails after the second call. So just enough to build me up and then break me down. Maybe someday, I don't know. I want to do more like reality TV stuff. I feel like just like living in LA, like you might as well, right?
I mean,
like it just seems like fun to just like be a crazy person on TV.
What's
and
the harm?
Develop a character of yourself or whatever.
Yeah.
At least for me, I don't know. I like doing that stuff. At the same time, I was also really into like prank calling radio stations. And like I love like Longmont Potion Castle. I was basically just like emulating that. Doing like, you know, Longmont Potion Castle?
Not even a little bit, no.
Oh, okay. He's I don't want to call him like a prank caller just because it makes him sound like crank yankers or whatever. He's just a really, really funny man who's been doing like we'll call it prank call art forever. He does like very like surrealist, like surreal. It's such a stupid word. He's very funny. Look up Longmont Potion Castle. He does like prank call videos.
I'll put him on the list.
Yeah, like huge fan of Longmont Potion Castle. Gordon, if you're still in the chat, can you link Longmont Potion Castle? I know he's got the links. Yeah, he's like quoting him right now.
Absurd.
Yeah, Longmont's great.
Calls.
So like, yeah, I would call like there's this one called like Patriot Radio that I used to call a lot.
Oh fuck! At least it's a worthwhile target in that case. Then I don't feel bad.
Yeah. It was all stuff that I like thought was annoying and like wanted to like felt like I had reason to harass.
Yeah.
We'll call like Loveline a lot too. I don't like those guys that much. Do you know Loveline?
I do. Isn't Loveline? Don't you have to pay to call Loveline?
I didn't.
Shit.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
History of I did not expect to get here from my love of Guy Fieri, because we stan Guy Fieri over here. And,
I remember yeah, I called a Patriot radio one time. I told them that I had like secret information on Bernie Sanders that was going to blow like the public's mind. So of course they put me through. And then like I kept like being secretive about it and like saying like you wouldn't even believe it like if I told you the truth. And then I kept calling him something called like a dog horn. Like, what's a dog horn? What could that mean? I mean, the big secret was that he has a secret like calendar he made where he dressed up his dog in like different outfits and like made him pretend to be like a police officer. And I was talking about how it was like disrespectful to like officers in uniform and like how dare he
disrespectful to our boys in blue.
And they like didn't know how to react because they're like, oh, this guy's like pro cops who don't want to like just dismiss him completely.
We don't want to confuse the message. Yeah, I mean, obviously like, ACAB, obviously ACAB. Yeah.
Yeah, oh I could probably find that and said. I mean, I don't think they like posted it anywhere, but I have like a clip on Dropbox that I can.
Oh my god, that would be absolutely delightful.
Yeah, I should do it again. I miss doing that stuff, but yeah, that was the same era that I made the Guy Fieri video. Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Last one of the night. Then I was gonna ask a little bit about Adult Swim. We're already past that point, so I want to talk about your history with working in sculpting. You worked for games and companies like Kingdom Death, Fantasy Flight, and the Robotech board game that I.
Oh wow! Wait, where'd you find it? I don't even know if it's publicly.
Your LinkedIn, my man.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, I forget LinkedIn. Yeah.
So, how'd you get into the miniature sculpting world? Are you still in the world? What'd you like? What didn't you like? Let me hear all about it because that's fascinating to me.
For sure. I got into it because I like miniatures, and I was like getting good at sculpting just because I like doing it. I wanted to make my own, like for my own sake. And then I thought it would be a good way to make money in college on the side. So I like applied, or I just like cold called, like emailed a bunch of places. I was like, hello, like I'm an idiot college student who wants to make models for you and will fake being better at miniatures. Being better at like miniature sculpting than I actually am until you pay me and but I'll work for very little and like please let me make models for your bullshit Kickstarter. And I did like some small ones that eventually led to me having like a portfolio to do things for like Fantasy Flight and like bigger Kickstarters. And I liked doing it because it was miniature sculpting, and who doesn't like miniatures and sculpting? But I didn't like doing it because they really fucking underpay you. Like even the big companies do not pay that much more than like
Fantasy Flight is historically terrible to its employees.
Yeah. I mean, everyone there was like very nice and also exploited, I think. But, yeah. Like there's the bottom line was always like, yeah, we don't have that much money. We can give you like 15 an hour, like at the most for this one. I mean, it's like better than like making 15 an hour doing like I'm sure like a lot of other jobs, but like for the amount of like work and like overtime like demanded for it sometimes is just like not very financially lucrative or sustainable long term. So that's why I stopped doing it. But I mean, I do it on occasion now, but I think I guess I can plug this during October. I want to try and do a like Kickstarter to make some like very old Hammer looking like second edition style generic space orcs. I think like doing it on my own is something I want to dive into because I mean I've just been like sculpting models to like print on my printer to like use for like personal use. So I was like, oh, might as well like I don't know, try and like sell a couple of them. And honestly, I think like the coolest part would just be like if other people start using these. I think it'd be like awesome to see other people like paint them and make armies out of them.
Do you have any?
You also pay for rent with them. Yeah.
Do you have any pictures on hand right now that you'd like to share with the class? I can post them up on the overlay.
My Instagram.
Oh, are they on your Insta? Let me see what I can.
I think there's just the
Pull up.
grot so far, and then there's like an orc I started sculpting today, and I have some like vehicles which I don't know if I'll do yet because they're gonna be harder to cast. But yeah, it'll be at least
Oh,
be like
so
that
this
guy. Yeah,
the little gun boy.
yeah, he was posted
Let me
on
pull it
September
up.
4th. It's like the
Yeah,
fourth picture down. Yeah.
yeah. Let me grab him. See if I can't do this one live and put it into the background. Unlike Hot Ones, it's just me here. No one else has a hand in this show. So if it's bad, that's not my problem. Boom. There he is. Look at him. Look at the little fella.
Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, that guy. I think I don't know if there's a render posted. Maybe it's just on Facebook. I have like better pictures on Facebook. That's going to take a lot of time to send over. So
So
yeah,
for
stuff like that though.
so for the Kickstarter that you're thinking of, are you thinking of doing like finding a place to like, mold and print them in resin, or are you looking to do them completely through your own 3D printer?
No, I want it to be like professional grade. Someone to like hire someone. I mean, it's why it is a Kickstarter because like I want to spend like money hiring someone who knows more about casting than me and has like a like. I mean, my printer is like fine for like my own purposes, but it would feel bad like selling something that comes out of it. Like if you look at the photo of the grot, like it looks like pretty good, but there's like some like little lines you can see and there's like enough defects in it that I wouldn't want like to sell something of that quality. So yeah, I would for sure want to just make it look like like a professional quality model. But yeah, I love that like old like Warhammer style, and definitely want to try and tap into that. So it's gonna be like him and like a boy and maybe like a knob or a war boss to start, and then if I get enough money, I'll try and like make a bunch more. Um, yeah, like do you know like Paul Bonner?
I can't say I'm familiar with any like individual sculptors except for the guy from Stonehaven.
Oh, for sure. Paul Bonner is is like an illustrator for like a bunch of companies, but he did a lot of like early Warhammer art in like the 90s.
Okay.
And his you do like search for like Paul Bonner orc. Like those are some of my favorite like Warhammer.
Let's see.
Uh,
Paul Bonner orc.
yeah, I'm just trying to find a picture to send over. I just love like his like style. And I'm gonna try and make something that like feels hopefully not like a blatant ripoff, but like inspired by that stuff for sure.
Right, I think I have some stuff. Let me see what I can do. So something kind of like this. Is that what you're thinking of on the overlay? I
Yeah,
hope that's
actually,
the right.
yeah, I mean for 40K, but I just linked like one in
let me grab it.
in the chat.
Oh, in the. Okay, there it is. Yeah.
Like the actual like Twitch. Oh yeah, sorry, yeah. When I say
No,
chat,
it's okay.
yeah.
I'm all over the place.
Yeah, no, I love his orcs though. So something like that. How long have you been playing Warhammer for?
Jesus Christ. I started in around when the fuck did the Tau come out? Because I picked up the first Tau Codex.
I was like fourth edition, I think.
Yeah, I think that was
yeah,
fourth.
like 2004-ish.
So
yeah.
so I was about 13 or 14 when I started playing.
Okay, yeah.
And then I stopped playing until maybe like last year.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I had a similar thing. Yeah, like I started around like the end of third, so around the same time you did, like right before fourth, and then I stopped playing for like the tail end of high school and all of college, and then got back into it after when I had like a little bit more time and money.
Yeah, I went into the direction of like tabletop RPGs instead of wargaming, and I'm only just starting to get back into the wargaming side of the hobby because I'm doing a lot of like terrain crafting and stuff like that now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a damn good game. So
Yeah, it's a fun universe. Yeah.
That's kind of all I have in terms of like prepared questions. If you're new to the chat and you want to follow us, please consider giving us a follow. Every little bit helps. If you want to follow Tyler !guest, or you can Google $1 Billion Clown Farm. If you want to find his Instagram, instead of spaces, you need underscores because Google is just being weird about it. Do
Yeah, that
that.
sucks. I don't want to get around that.
Do that. Find it. Go support it. Do you have anything else that you want to shout out or talk about or anything like that?
No, just the Kickstarter and the YouTube channel. This is awesome though. Thanks for having me on.
No, please. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, this is sick. I mean, I'm definitely down to do more of these if you want to hang and talk Warhammer on stream in some capacity.
I would love to do
our
that.
Discord too. Yeah.
Oh yeah, sure. And then one of our viewers is actually one of your patrons. It turns out that he is a mutual follower. So what you need to do, if you are financially able to, and you are interested in what Tyler is doing, you can find him on Patreon. Noah, can you post the Patreon link? I believe it's also $1 Billion Clown Farm.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So if you're financially stable and you're interested in what Tyler's doing, please go support him on Patreon. But as always, put your own financial stability first because it's a very difficult time right now. If you like what we're doing, support us on Patreon.
Sucks more to be dead, probably. But
yeah, probably.
Yeah, it's a rough year.
But yeah. So thank you very much.
Who's the mutual follower? Should we do they want a shout out? That's very nice of them.
It's Kamen Otaku. He is one of our mods. His name is Noah, and he plays Fantasy Empire like an absolute little bitch boy.
You know, I don't know. I have nothing against the Empire. I miss them, honestly.
I mean, it's so much has changed.
I mean, they kind of survived in Sigmar as Cities of Sigmar, but
I like Cities of Sigmar as like a concept more than I liked them as like the individual factions in fantasy. I like the concept that like in that world they eventually did end up coming together and forming a bit more of like a proper collective.
Yeah. I think it is a cool concept. I just didn't feel just like a relegated afterthought of like, well, if you still have these, I guess you can still use them.
That's the big problem that I have with them.
Yeah.
Do you run a fantasy army?
It's cool they have something. No, I mean, I used to play fantasy a lot back in the day. I had a dwarf army. But no, I don't play now. I'd like to. We like my friend Gordon, who is maybe still in chat, and like a group of us were playing like Warcry, which was pretty cool. And we're just like treating it as it's in like the old world, you know, like we're role playing it as being the old world and using like old world models.
Fuck, that's awesome.
So yeah, it's just been fun like playing something in that universe that's like kind of low commitment, because making a fantasy army is like not the easiest undertaking. I'm down. I want to do one at some point, but I mean, the old world's coming back, and I was planning on just like waiting for that, but I feel like I'm gonna end up like painting one for the channel or something sooner. So
that is a big announcement. I mean, if you ever do, I run Lizard Folk, so if you ever do a lizard video, I am gonna be the first view.
Damn, I would paint like I love Lord Croak. I have like a weird ongoing obsession with Lord Croak, and I would love to paint one.
He's got such a vibe that the rest of the Lizard Folk just don't have.
Yeah, big Lord Croak fan. Damn, maybe that's a good idea. What are your favorite fantasy armies? Do you have like other ones besides one? Or?
In fantasy, I mean, like
So you're painting skeletons, right? Or...
Didn't have so those are Reaper minis. I picked up a bunch from the most recent run. Yeah, I'm big into Frostgrave right now, so I'm trying to make like a necromancy warband. But if I had to pick up a Sigmar army right now, I would probably pick up the name is eluding me, but it's the ghouls who think they're nobility. Like they have that delusion. The aesthetic
awesome.
is wonderful.
Wait, what are they called?
Right,
the Flesh Eater Courts, right?
The Flesh Eater Courts, I believe that is. Yeah. Oh, look at that! There is a $1 Billion Clown Farm Discord. I will join. Don't mind if I do.
Yeah, welcome. Yeah.
Is it cool if I post our Discord to you or someone else if you want? Yeah.
No,
actually, if you're in chat, there's our Discord right there. Anyone who wants to join, always welcome. The rules are always really simple. Be cool, no bigot shit. My camera just went out of focus. But as far as the YouTube cut of the interview, this is where we're going to end it. Everybody go follow $1 Billion Clown Farm. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate it. And everybody have a wonderful day. Goodbye. We love you.